It's a tale as old as time, a song as old as rhyme. Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is directed by Bill Condon, starring Emma Watson, Dan Stevens, Luke Evans, Josh Gad, Kevin Kline, Sir Ian McKellen, Ewan McGregor, and Emma Thompson. If you are not familiar with the Beauty and the Beast story, which I'm assuming there aren't many of you out there that aren't, the story of Beauty and the Beast is about someone who is turned into a monstrous beast because of his selfish ways and the fact that he's not a very good person. And the only way to break this curse and to turn himself back into a human, as well as the various characters within his castle, is that he has to find not only someone that he loves, but also someone that falls in love with him. Now, before I get into this review, I just want to specify the way I kind of look at sequels, prequels, sidequels, various movies in a franchise, adaptations from one medium to another, whatever you want to call it. I tend to look at these films as individual films entirely and not base my analysis on previous iterations or other forms in any way, because I really want to judge this film solely on its merits or demerits and not compare it to anything else. Also, before I start, there are a few extra things added to the story that I am not going to spoil for you in any way. So first of all, let's start off with the positives. This film has a wonderful set design, wonderful costuming, and I have to say, I really love the music in this film. Is it the same exact as the animated film that everyone knows and loves? No, it's not. You have to kind of go into this film with an open mind when it comes to certain elements. Things are not going to be exactly as they were before because this is a different form of the film. Also, you kind of have to understand that a lot of the actors in this film are not professional singers. Some of them probably have backgrounds in theater arts or something like that. But while I'm on the subject of the actors, I'll say this. The acting in the film I thought was very, very strong. I thought Emma Watson was fine as Belle. Dan Stevens as the Beast I thought was very good. Kevin Kline as Belle's father I think was a standout. I really like the way that they constructed the relationship between Belle and her father. You can really see the close tie that they have to one another. The voice acting by Sir Ian McKellen was spot on for Cogsworth. Ewan McGregor is using a French accent the whole time. It's a little weird when you first hear it and maybe sound a little phony at times, but I think it overall works for the film and becomes endearing after a while. One of the standouts of the film is Luke Evans as Gaston and Josh Gad as LeFou. They really have a great on-screen chemistry with one another, and I think Luke Evans captures the character of Gaston. He has the ego, the machismo, the confidence, the screen presence to really bolster that character, and Josh Gad as LeFou is a kind of great wisecracking sidekick at times. Also, Luke Evans really belts out the Gaston voice very, very well in this film, and Josh Gad has done singing before on Broadway in The Book of Mormon, so he knows his way around a theatrical song or two. I thought Bill Condon solidly directed the film. I had a few problems at times. He tends to over-edit a lot of scenes and a lot of sequences, but overall really solid, especially when you're dealing with a film with a lot of CGI. Another positive aspect I have about the film is that they really flesh out the backstories of both the Beast and Belle. We get kind of new additions to their characters that I felt really gave them more depth because we see these backgrounds. They're able to relate to one another on a certain personal level. Also, I really found myself enjoying the sequences where the relationship between Belle and the Beast was starting to develop. I found it to be developed in a more humanistic way, in a more modern way, specifically when it comes to modern romances and relationships. I have to say, I really like the character design when it comes to Lumiere and Cogsworth and Mrs. Potts and Chip and all the others within the castle. I thought the design worked within the context of these characters because what we see in the film is that the curse not only affects the Beast, but it really affects everyone in the castle in a certain way. And I thought that that was a really cool thing that added a lot of depth to the overall story, and it really added to the tragic nature of the whole story. Everyone within this castle has a stake in what's happening. Although I overall did like the film, there are some problems I have with it. And one of the main problems I have is the CGI in the film. There are some sequences where the CGI is very noticeable. The one thing I have with CGI is I have no problem with films using it. I think it's a great filmmaking tool, and I love the way it's developed over the last decade or so. But the one thing with it is you have to make it as unseen as possible, as unobvious as possible. That's when it's utilized the best. And in this film, there is one particular aspect where the CGI is noticeable, and that is with the face design of the Beast. Initially, I heard that they shot the film using practical prosthetics on Dan Stevens' face, but in post-production, they decided to go with a CGI Beast face, and I found that to be very noticeable, especially early on in the film, and it's something I had to make peace with as the film went on. Also, the overall Beast design of Dan Stevens was called into question when people saw him for the first time in the marketing, in the trailers, in the stills, in the posters. And I have to say, it's a little bit problematic for me because the Beast is not so much a beast in this film. They almost design him as a human Beast hybrid, where he is never on all fours during the film. He is always very upright, and the face looks very humanistic. They give him lips, he doesn't have any beast-like snout. He does still have the teeth, of course, and the fur and the body, but he feels too human-like. So with all that being said, I'm going to give the film a 3.8 out of 5 stars. The set design is strong, the music is great, and the acting is very solid. This is my review of Beauty and the Beast, directed by Bill Condon. If you like this video, please check out the other videos on my channel.